Hello, everyone, and welcome to DemiGod Division Finals of the Amaterasu's Presence Heaven's Gauntlet. Nameless versus the Heart Showers. Both teams have descended from the celestial plane to walk among the earth as mere mortals, and now will do glorious battle to prove that one day, they may have the chance to walk through heaven's gates once more. I'm D'Lo, joined here by my friends Zach Vexel and Zombie Tantalus. We got our friend Almighty Eye in the Sky, Tess. It's a Zesties cast, everyone. The debut of it. Zach, Z-Tan, how we feeling?
I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to this. These two teams have slogged away all season. They were up in our upper bracket in our Celestial division. Weren't so favorable there. Ended up getting knocked down. They're sitting down here in our DemiGod division, and honestly, they have proved themselves phenomenally. Here we are in the grand finals, made it all the way. What do you think, Z10? Are we looking forward to an exciting game today?
So far, this should be good. Like you guys mentioned, these teams were initially in the Celestial division. And you know what? Like, the way I look at it, if I can get out of a division and not have to play into Super Death Fang, like, I'm friggin' cool with it, man. This should be a pretty solid set. We got the Ares ban, the Terra ban, getting some of these Guardians out of here early. I like it.
Now, Terra being one of the more notable support picks in the meta currently, we're seeing Ares a lot. Kind of just counters that Terra. So maybe the removing of the Ares first was like, okay, we kind of want to play the Terra, but Heart Shower's just quick on the uptake. Like, okay, no, we're going to knock that out of here. Fafnir, though, still on the table, still available. We see the Vulcan, though, getting removed as one of our more notable mages getting played over there in the mid lane. Ever since the item procs on the turret thing, yeah, okay, I'm sure everybody wants to steer clear of that. A great secure on the ultimate as well, and the Oleron. Now, this one's a little bit interesting to me. I haven't seen too much success with the Oleron, but when it is in good hands, it does pop off nicely. The Hachiman, though, still a very successful, very strong Hunter over there in the dual lane, very safe, scales up nicely. And Thor, I'm interested in this. What are some of your thoughts?
I love gold.
Well,
Hold on a second, Z-Tan. I just want to say one thing. Hachiman ban, goated. Continue.
You know what? I hope they don't pick Ymir.
Oh, come on, bro. It's rude.
Thor is very, very solid right now. Obviously, semi-global rotational capability, great ult, good CC, good engage, good escape, good burst. There's not a lot that he doesn't do well outside of maybe playing into Ganesha. Fafnir, that immediately tells me these dudes are looking for some auto attack characters. Maybe even two of them running the Hunter mids. Oh yeah, Cthulhu coming up. That's got to be the solo laner. Yeah, they're looking for a double ADC comp.
I'm not a big fan of the early pick on the Cthulhu. I do like the Charybdis. I think she's flown up pretty nicely in the ranks. I don't think she's up there at the top end, but I think she is in a very solid spot. Now, somebody who I do think is up in that top end is this Mulan. I do love the Mulan pick. Significant early pressure. I'm gonna be interested because early pressure is kind of something that Cthulhu does well, but if this is a Mulan jungle, if this is a Mulan solo, only time he's going to be able to... Come on, you're not going to hover Medusa in this kind of grand final. Come on, it's game one. Okay, they're going to hover Medusa, lock in Medusa into Cthulhu. First off, what? Somebody, please tell me about the Medusa pick here.
All you, Z. All you, man.
Look, I don't have a lot of good things to say about the Medusa pick with, things like Rama, Ishtar, on her. For that matter, I'll throw out AMC and Marticarus if we're just going for ability-based hunters. There's just better picks. Yeah, okay, yeah, basically every hunter that's not Medusa.
That's fair.
This could be a comfort pick. The god's not necessarily in a terrible spot. The items are in a good spot. Her ult just kind of sucks when you're, over gold and people can do 180s. It may be a comfort pick. That may be what he's looking for here. I'm looking mostly at this Mulan. You mentioned the pick a moment ago. And I mean, Cthulhu does early pressure well, but I can't think of anything that hits as hard as Mulan in the first couple of minutes of the game. Now, we've got the Agni bout, the Toth, Serket, Morgan Le Fay. Serket's really the only one of those that surprises me a little bit.
Someone who can kind of lock down. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing it too. I was super excited once that hover came in, and I'm excited for it this patch. I'm excited for it next patch. I think this is a pick that is so versatile. I'm going to be seeing this in multiple different roles, doing very nice work. And somebody lock this. Come on, you can't bait me like that and switch over to a Morrigan.
Bugger.
What are you doing here? You know what?
Speaking
I'm
of
gonna
gods, you're going to be a lot better tomorrow.
Exactly. You know, the only time they could have put off this finals, maybe delay it and get that Poseidon. It's going to be a Merlin though instead. You know, some great shred finally coming out of one of these picks. I do like this. I think they have great lockdown. You know, you look at the Atlas and the Medusa in the lane. I think it's going to be very aggressive, a lot of fight potential, but not going to have anywhere near the clear potential that Nameless has over there with the Charybdis and the Fafnir. The Mulan, a lot of aggression in lane. So far, I see CC, great over there, Merlin. You got plenty of lockdown. Get your damage off and over on the other side. Now, I know you said you wanted ability-based hunters, and one of them you mentioned was AMC, but did you think it was going to come out of Nameless over here, who locks in the AMC and decides to take Maman Brigitte into the jungle?
Hey, look, I would like to point out, the moment the Fafnir Cthulhu got locked, I said they're going for a double ADC comp. AMC's solid. No bias here. I definitely don't have 18,000 worshippers on the god. I don't love him. But he's the best god in the game, so deal with it.
Okay, whoa, that's kind of a hot take. I think maybe a couple patches ago, maybe... Sure, I could agree with you there, but right now, let's take a step back, all right?
Like I said, no bias. No
Yeah,
bias.
right. The Maman Brigitte I find kind of interesting. I don't think she's in a great spot, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think she's in too good of a spot right now. So, I see you needed some magical damage. I mean, granted, you had the Cthulhu, you have the Fafnir, both of those can work in very nicely. So it'll be interesting to see how this Maman Brigitte can handle herself. All the while, gonna get dove by a Kali. That one gonna be the final pick right now for our Heart Showers here in game number 1. A lot of just dive pressure potential coming out of Heart Showers. I see a very forward comp. They're gonna be able to shred objectives down when they do get on them with this double auto attack combination and the Merlin shred as well. So gonna be really interesting there all the while. But you said Nameless, double hunter, you got a Lulu, you got a Fafnir. We should see some good shred, some good lockdown, great forward with the Cthulhu, good zoning that could come out of this team comp. So a lot of objective play needs to be focused by, honestly, both of these teams.
Absolutely. Nameless are going to have the capability to burn it, which that said, Heart Shower's right in the same area. I mean, you've got a Merlin, you've got a Carry, you've got a Kali. Looking at these matchups, though, AMC is going to need to play carefully with a Mulan and a Kali on the board. You do not have the option of making dumb positioning in a matchup like that. Charybdis, on the other hand, has the luxury of being able to position however she pleases and usually get away with it. Maman is going to be my big question mark moving into this match. You mentioned not in a great spot. In fact, I would take that a step further and say probably in kind of a bad spot. If they can find a way to make this Maman perform and actually take this Merlin or a Kali or somebody out of the fight, the rest of their composition fries in a team fight.
It's really going to come down to how well they can get on top of a single target, how well they can lock that down. And I'm not too confident in the CC quantity that Nameless has. I think Lulu's in a better spot than what he was with the changes to his 2 and how that Meyer guaranteed gets off. You have the Fafnir hammer, sure, but what else do you have outside of that? I mean, you're going to hope that the hammer lands. We can hit at somebody with an AMC stinger. Maybe Maman Brigitte throws her ultimate over the top, but you kind of want to use that in the middle of the fight more so than leading off with the fight. I'm going to be a little bit hesitant on that end. From the jungle aspect, it's going to really come down to if that hammer gets off, if that Meyer gets onto somebody, and if we can blow up that one person, then I can see Heart Showers comp just opening up. Meanwhile, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, you look at Heart Showers comp, I see multiple avenues of engage here in which they can enter a fight, in which they can leave a fight. Lots of decision making that can be done. So I feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that Heart Showers draft can pick single targets off and pick other alternating targets off. You know, they don't have to just dedicate on to one person. We can start here, we can move there, kind of thing. Nameless, it needs to be this person and this person alone. We need to shred them down and hope our Lulu buys enough time, stays alive long enough. That's going to be my big issue, you know, with that ultimate. If you can stay alive long enough, great. Because once that ultimate's down, he's kind of just a free target, I would say, especially for the kind of shred that's going to come out of a Merlin Golly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I almost feel like between the Mulan, the Kali, the Atlas, I almost feel like Nameless have to play this front to back. I'd struggle to see a world where Cthulhu and Maman are going to be able to cause enough trouble.
We really need to see, I think, Nameless locking down this Mulan. Otherwise, she is going to wreak havoc for Nameless's comp. Now, granted, I do think that the Mulan will struggle once we get into the later end of things, once she does try to ult in or something like that, and the double hunter shred will happen. But, I mean, only time will tell. What do you think, D'Lo?
I think we've got a really interesting comp setup for us on both sides. Double Hunter is going to be up against. We've set up a kind of a story here of CC versus raw damage. Will Nameless end up just being able to weight room their way through Heart Shower's carefully composed comp? Like you said, Zach, only one way to find out. Let's get right into game one of these grand finals in just a moment. And we're back. Look at that. How quick. Layover time not going to be existent here. I know, right? It's just blinking. You might miss it. That beautiful transition. Thank you very much there, Tess. Once again, I'm D'Lo, joined here by Zach Vexel and Z-Tan. We got Tess Almighty Eye in the Sky for this ZestD's debut cast for our finals of the DemiGod Division. Nameless versus Heart Showers. You guys set up a beautiful scene for us as far as the strengths and weaknesses of these comps. When it comes to Z-Tan, these first 5 minutes of the game, where do we expect that attention to be dedicated? Where should the viewer keep their eye glued to in terms of the lanes?
I want to say you want to be looking more towards this dual lane over here. If I'm Nameless, I want to be putting the pressure over here. Look at the Fafnir and the Charybdis. Their clear is going to be intense. It's going to be great. AMC is going to be able to hold his own over here. Maman, she's going to need to scale up. The Cthulhu versus Mulan matchup over there, if I say so, I want to be Heart Showers. I want to be putting pressure over on that solo lane and get something going over there. That's probably what their best avenue is going to be. Get this Mulan a nice lead, rotate her in, get the Bull Demons. You can do that, rotate it into mid, punish the AMC for being AMC. Congratulations, we can knock it on out of the park like that and rotate this lead over here and really shut down this Charybdis Fafnir before they become what they will become.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. The only thing I'm looking at here, we've got a warding sigil out of the Mulan, and not the Bluestone that we see so many of them go. Cthulhu, on the other hand, has opted for the Conduit Gem. There's a world here without that Bluestone where Cthulhu has some early pressure here over this Mulan.
I think it's a very, I think it's kind of this world. I'm not gonna lie, you know, with the Conduit
It'll be
Gem,
short-lived.
Yeah.
It'll be a short-lived time, but a time. He has that opportunity in this early game, and I mean, look at Forerunner's health bar.
Yeesh. That is
What
rough.
health
In
bar?
fact, look at the kill chart as well. Dino K gonna be able to run down Forerunner in the early minutes of the game. Doesn't even need the gank, unfortunately. Zach, does not seem like your prediction for the pressure to be on the Mulan side. Instead, she's on the receiving end. Now Kali taking a few swarms to the back. Gonna be able to survive just fine. They're trying to put quite a bit of pressure here. She's starting to pay rent in that mid lane. Not gonna quite work out. Maman Brigitte, however, has been staying up and squatting in this left side of the map. Good damage there onto Impunction, but having the wherewithal to keep safe. The Medusa, despite our naysayers that we might have here in the booth, staying alive at least for now.
I do think it's really...
We already did it.
Yeah, it was gonna happen. You know what? Got it out of the way now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, now this is done and gone. Won't happen again, surely. I'm very interested. I think the Conduit pickup, obviously, from the Cthulhu is the right play. The Mulan with the sigils, sure, she might sustain once the game gets a little bit later, but I'm 1000% there with you that the Bluestone was going to be the right option if we wanted to see pressure come out in this lane. Mulan is somebody who has innate early pressure, and then once her abilities start to level up, oh god, hold that thought right now as Eat Jungle Buffs dives on in, eats 2 tower shots. Dino K was okay with that. I mean, he was back in the base anyway. Gets on out of there, but has seen better days. Kali gonna stick around and see if they can get a nice buff invade. This could be nice for the Mulan to kind of get back into the game, but I do think Heart Showers needs to apply attention over here, especially since we do see a sigil over on Mulan. Hold the thought though.
Yeah, I'll also see Maman Brigitte trying to move in. Gonna be trying to toss out the snake before we can toss out the mire, which indeed does land. Gonna be rooting down the Kali. Do not have that ultimate just yet. You're just a mere mortal. Once again, not quite the deity of destruction that you get to be at level 5. Now the invade. On Nameless's side, it could be dropping down some mire here onto this nice Elder Satyr. Maman Brigitte gonna also invade, and you have as well the God of Bees to assist the beautiful Stinger. And the descent into madness, ascend to the heavens, descend into the fountain. Forerunner gonna take their second spill in just a few short minutes. 3-0 here for Nameless. I'm not sure if this is quite the pressure that we were expecting from Heart Showers when we were talking all those accolades we gave to their comp. Z-Tan, what do we think has been what's been spelling their misfortune?
Well, I think a lot of that lies in the fact that, like, without that bluestone on Mulan, your pressure, you're still going to have it eventually, right? Like, once you get the abilities leveled up, you get the inherent scaling. Once you get the abilities upgraded through your passive, she will have the damage, she will have the pressure, she just doesn't have it right now. And Nameless are taking full advantage of that. I mean, you said Nameless are 3-0. Cthulhu is 3-0.
Oh, that's gross. Oh, this damage is looking pretty decent as well. But the Brilliant Pull gives them an avenue to escape. Doesn't seem like Impunction wants to. They're going to look to continue scrapping those Viper shots, doing decent damage there. Target's going to be on your back, but so is the laser. It's going to be a nice little light show here. Little techno party drops down, but you're a miner. You can't be part of the clubbing scene, my friend. Kairos is going to get your way on out of there. Retreats back into the jungle. Unfortunately, might not be able to say the same for your Fafnir friend. Ascends to the dragon form. Maman Brigitte, once again, you really gotta start paying rent here, my friend. It is just starting to look unfortunate. And dead bodies on the lawn, certainly a homeowner's violation as well. Doesn't matter if there's no witnesses to the scene, though. Skinder, nice double kill there. Can't say Cthulhu's the only one with kills in pocket now. All my homies eat.
Honestly, what an electric start coming out so far from Team Nameless. They are putting pressure all over the map, and honestly, it's the lanes themselves getting innate pressure, but also Skinder just moving from one side to the next, sweeping across the map and just making sure. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, he might have pitched a tent in duo lane for more than half the game, but on the other side of that, he wasn't solo, did return some kills over there, got our Lulu a nice little lead that he's got going on, and came right back over to this dual lane and helped out with his dual lane, recognizing that the dual lane from Heart Showers wanted to get aggressive. He saw the Medusa dash on in there, and I mean, that's, from a jungle's perspective, as soon as I see a carry dash on in, oh yeah, that's free game right there. I'm taking that one.
Yeah, I mean, with this Medusa over here, Medusa is one of those gods that can feel just absurdly strong when played with a lead. So, you know, if Skinder sits over here for half of the early game and ensures that his carry has a lead, Medusa is behind, you don't have to worry about your solo. Your solo's already up. You've got pressure there. Mid's dead even. You kind of have the option to do what he's doing right now. I would like to see a little more emphasis put on the Bull Demons and the solo side of the map, but so far, I mean, you can't argue with 5-0.
5, like you mentioned, we're seeing a 2,000 gold lead creeping up towards Nameless. I'm glad to see this 2,000 gold lead, but the thing is, I saw this 2,000 gold lead 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. It came out of the initial, came out of the gate, it came out cooking, but now I need to start seeing some objectives. Now, they did get one Bull Demon down, and Heart Showers did anyway, but I'm going to hold that right now because it seems like Astra wants to get aggressive here in the mid lane and knocking down Yeet Jungle Buff, getting another kill on the board for Heart Showers. It's just pressure in the duo, pressure in the mid, pressure in the solo, but I think I said it very clear a second ago, I want to see objectives become the focus of this team. That's how you really grow your leads.
And you mentioned the fact that it's really coast to coast here, what we're seeing. It's every single lane, the pressure. It started off just in the solo, but now it's starting to be evenly distributed. And that's the danger. So objectives. You mentioned it. Let's talk about it. Z-Tan, as far as who's going to have the advantage around these objectives, Obviously, Gold Fury and Pyro gonna fall to a double hunter comp, but around the Stygian Beacon fight, where it comes to space control, who do we think has the edge?
I think that's going to depend a lot on how Heart Showers stage their abilities going into the fight for the beacon. Assuming that we end up with a team fight for the beacon. Oh, well, there's Descent into Madness.
You have Jungle Buff going to be entering the fight shortly, but your friend might descend once more back into the fountain before it can happen. Ooh, Soul Explosion narrowly avoided, not quite enough. Killing spree there for Skinder might be adding to the pile if Kali doesn't get out of there. Does oblige after using that ultimate. They just can't find much. I don't know why you're jumping for joy, Dino K. You are not looking to be in a good position. A brilliant rotation from Snowman melts down the Cthulhu.
First one on the board for Heart Showers and a shutdown on the Cthulhu. That's going to be some good golden pocket and definitely make that rotation worthwhile. But take a look at the mid lane. Astro is knocking down this tier 1 tower. I've spoken to this in multiple other leagues and multiple other teams that I've coached and everything. Knocking down this mid tower early is essential. It is crucial. Because look, Pyromancer's not up yet. The beacon's not up yet. But what you do is you take this mid laner and tell them that they are no longer allowed to farm. Now this Merlin has to play so far back and hope that he can get his waves, hope that he can get his red buff, hope that Sir Ominous can get out of here alive after he's been petrified by the Medusa that it may be, was able to secure their buffs and get on out of there. It's this tier 1 tower in mid, I think, is so crucial, and so many teams just kind of shy away from knocking down towers early, and I can see that with the side lanes. But this mid lane, knock it out.
Can I say, that was a really nice combination there from the Medusa and Atlas pull. That might be their way. We talked about how 180s can really just ruin the Medusa's day as far as what they're able to do with that Stone Gaze, but having been able to combo off the get over here is going to be really useful. Could potentially disrupt their ability to try to get off that 180 before you can neutralize some of that damage. Now Kali trying to rotate around here, maybe catch the Stray, catch that fight in the dark alley. But Brigitte being up ahead, maybe deciding a bit better of it. Heart Showers' days for invading have long since passed. Now, Beacon gonna be up in 2 minutes. That might just be where we see our next big scrap as the Heart Showers retreat back. Zetan, you mentioned before that it's gonna come down to the ability placement here, but we also talked about before is the fact that the Mulan might be pivotal. Have we seen enough attention here being shown to the solo by the Heart Shower side?
Well, I mean, Mulan is caught up in level for the moment. We've got Maman running at Snowman here. Oh my god, he's gone.
Poor son of a gun. And you might have some more bodies to carry back on your shield. There's Yeet Jungle Buff, yeeting you back to the fountain. Skinder gonna be the recipient of the violence this time. Another big player of the game for Nameless taken off the board. Heart Showers opening up a path for themselves here. Is it simply overextension, Zek, on the part of Nameless? What's happening? Why is this kill board suddenly starting to look a bit more scary?
That was without a doubt an overextension. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for Skinder there as much as I would like to, but with your dashing in, I mentioned it about the Medusa a little bit earlier. That's a jungle's wet dream. You know, I'm foaming at the mouth, I'm diving in, I'm dashing in anything I can to get on in there and just get that pick, especially when it's a 3-0-4 Maman Brigitte. Give me that gold, give me that XP, and you know, I just said give me that gold, but Sir Ominous and the rest of Team Nameless say, let's get the Gold Fury. We see the Draconic transformation. Look at that shred coming on down, but Heart Showers are lurking around nearby. The secure is going to be a coin flip, and Heart Showers steal away the objective. But Team Nameless is not too happy about that when they get out too. Look at that. They are gone.
Oh, that's rough, but at the very least, they
Solid.
can try to get some compensation here with the steal on the kill from the Mulan. No, instead, it's just going to be all Heart Showers all day. Bull Demon King secured as well. They might grab themselves the Cthulhu for takeaway. Pack them up in a jack-in-a-box box, my friend. You are delivery service right back to the fountain. Snowman going to once again take the kill. And know that the kill board now, 12 minutes in, 8-3, it seems like Heart Showers should be the ones feeling the pain, but at the very least, Nameless, grab that beacon. It still doesn't feel quite great. It's a lot of Pyrrhic victories on their side. Might be able to grab an Atlas for yourself. Not sure if the ward was worth the trade, but at the very least, that 50 gold you can spend back in pocket now that you're back in the fountain, courtesy there of Ashro. Thank you very much for that. I just really wanted to get back to the shop quicker. Nameless at the very least grabs themselves a bit more momentum with that, but overall, definitely an interesting playing field compared to what we were seeing a few short minutes ago where it was all Nameless all day, Zach.
It feels like things have evened out significantly. Now, I did mention the 2K gold lead around the 6-7 minute mark, shot up to close to 5K immediately, back down to this 2K gold lead. Heart Shower's taken the Gold Fury, taken every single Bold Demon so far. They got 3 of those suckers. Only 1 more is going to be left for them to get if they do opt to do so, but getting these shutdowns as well, very huge. Only the one to shut down left is going to be this AMC, but seems like we want to dive and dash into this tier 1 tower over in the solo lane. A nice 3-man rotation coming out from Nameless to punish the Mulan for her eagerness, but she is staying alive. Let me tell you that Genji's and Sigil finally putting in work, finally has some point into those abilities, but all the while, it's going to be all for naught. Is this going to be a shutdown on the AMC that we see as we blink on in, get the beads, get the egg, Stinger's out. There's the shutdown that we were looking for. AMC is down off the board as well. And a fight, man, it's just scrapping solo, scrapping mid, scrap over in the dual lane as Kairos tries to knock down the Medusa. Gets grabbed by Yuzkos, the dash off the mark, but the shutdown is there as well. And Punction able to knock Kairos down. Wow.
It continues though. This Skinder getting dropped once again by Jungle Buff in the mid lane. Violence cannot be abated here, and the end result is Heart Showers greatly equalizing the playing field. This might be the warrior who can fell the dragon. Smog has not read the Hobbit clearly because even small packages can pack big damage. They do have still the Draconic Breath to try to put a bit more fear in this deity's place, but I'm not so sure she's going to back down for it. She's marked, she's taking a bit more poke, but now Sir Ominous has returned back to being a Hobbit himself. The Fellowship, unfortunately, experiencing a bit of disarray here now 15 minutes into the game. It's really been completely equalized. Look at the gold charts and how they've been flattened. EXP as well. This is about as tied as you could hope for as the Heart Showers after those first few minutes. Now Nameless might look to see if they can get a Pyromancer to try to swing things back in their favor. But Merlin, being the threatening factor and the fact that Sir Ominous' health bar was looking a bit iffy, going to retreat back from that one. Here at 15 minutes, Zetan, when the game is equalized such as it is now, who really has the advantage in terms of what your comp is going to offer once we start to rotate for these team fights?
Well, with you getting the game evened up at this like 15-minute mark here, my mind starts to immediately give the advantage to the team that is sitting with Kali and Merlin. You're not behind. You've now evened things out. Your Kali now has a lead, and Kali's starting to approach that 4-item point where Kali becomes one of the most menacing late-game figures on the map. Objectives, neither team really has great secure. Both teams have great burn. That's going to be a toss-up. They're going to have to 50-50 these objectives.
I don't know if Forerunner's chances to live this one are quite 50-50. Does use the Mastery to get themselves to safety. Great grapple there to pull themselves back into the waiting arms of our friend Yusko, who's going to take the carpool lane over. Now it's a Gold Fury attempt potentially, but they are going to manage to wipe them away from it. There's the Maw, not going to hunger for too much. Instead, we're maybe looking for the scraps of Forerunner, who's now re-entered the fray at maybe the wrong moment. Picked up there by the ANC, but you might have to sacrifice your friend Skinder for it. The beam's going to pulverize them. There goes the kill for Atlas. The dragon has arrived, going to be doing decent damage there to Kali and Yusko as well, but in the destruction form, Yeet is going to be able to pick up another kill for themselves. It's a 1-for-2 here. Name was feeling the bad side of it, but Yusko's might be put on a platter next. You have the dash there from the Cthulhu, trying to find a bit more damage. Once again, it goes to the AMC. Diving the tower, not sure if that's the best one, but does immune that Petrify. A beautiful stinger. The dot damage. The bees, they're in my eyes. Snowman goes down.
Look who's lurking around nearby, though Yeet Jungle Buff was able to make the rotation. I tell you, I'm pretty sure Fafnir is the target of this Kali. Not that it matters anymore, he was. Astro, though, on this AMC. The next target, now also Forerunner, back. Objective still present. The Medusa still lurking around nearby. This could be a Gold Fury take for Heart Showers instead if they decide to fall back, but it seems like Yeet Jungle Buff wants to get the kill instead of blinking from the Mulan. catches onto Dino K, and down he goes. Ends up getting one, but gets traded out instead as the return from Team Nameless. This has been scrap after scrap. They've been going right back and forth through this dual lane side of the jungle, just taking on each other, and it just feels like it's a never-ending fight. What about the Gold Fury, guys?
Yeah, it's still there. It's still hanging out. Like it was watching all of this transpire. The kills are great. The kills are absolutely great. Like, you've got 4 of them now on this Kali. You've got a 2-level lead. The Maman no longer feels that threatening. Kali's got the Exi, the Kins, Equinox. But you've got to get something after these fights. There's a Pyro up, there's a Gold Fury up, there's a Fire Giant up, and we've seen like 10 kills.
Pyromancer up on the chopping block. Next, Nameless do grab this one despite the attempt from Atlas, but they're all in position for the Gamma Ray to hit them all in a row. Instead, it's going to just go clanking up against the poor Harpies. They had no idea what they did wrong, but nonetheless, Nameless do get a nice objective for themselves. Please pick up that bomb. Thank you. 18 minutes. Gold still equalized. Primal Fury might change that. Nameless looking to grab all the objectives on the map. Draconic form going to be entered. Cthulhu just kind of wandering around, seeing if any poor souls will walk into their path. The Maw hungers. The Maw's not going to secure. Heart Showers instead grab with another petrifying gaze. Medusa's been absolutely mollywopping these objectives. But now Cthulhu's in the midst of them, swiping with those claws of terror. Kairos picks up a nice double onto Snowman as well as Yuskos. And the damage continues, but Blue's grouped up, and Blue's looking low. The Goddess of Destruction's gonna make the God of Bees pay, and Punction punctually takes down Skinder as well before the Kali must retreat from the fight. Medusa uses a well-timed Aegis before they can put a few more arrows into your back. Beautiful work to dispatch them as well as Kairos. A triple kill there for Impunction. Quadra potential here as we look for Cthulhu. I don't know why you're jumping, Dino. You just watched all of your team get massacred. Clearly a coping mechanism.
The jump, you see, it's kind of just built into my head. I do it too, where I'm just going around this. I'm not doing anything. I got to press my space bar. I remember loading up Smite 2 and just being in the shop. I'm pressing space bar and it's filtering through every little page. And I'm like, please stop. And I'm like, oh, I'm pressing space. That would be why that does it. It just ingrains into your head after so many years. But 2 for 4 and Gold Fury to Heart Showers. Talk about a massive win. We were seeing a 5k gold lead for Nameless at the start of this game. I'm seeing 4k now reaching to Heart Showers. Pressure in their favor. They are taking advantage of these team fights very well. And yeah, the Kali Merlin, like you were talking about, which are about to meet Dino K. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, you're out of here. Now Lulu gone. Okay, so 2 for 5 in the Gold Fury in the long stretch of things. But it looks like Heart Showers actually want to group up towards this Fire Giant. I mean, it's 21 minutes. It's very doable, but I feel like this is a nice little pull that they've been doing. They do some nice heat checks on these objectives. They unfortunately lurked around the Pyromancer a little bit too long, but they're actually sticking onto this Fire Giant pretty confidently.
Ooh, this could be a saucy move, but they're aware of it. Nameless have to try to do something. The Dragon Form gonna immune some of that damage that was coming in. There comes the Gamma Ray Blast. Knocks down Astro, but Kairo's gonna pick up the kill on Yuskos to pay him back for damaging the Bee. The Fire Giant's been forgotten. The Dragon is the true raid boss to take down. The Maw gonna hunger, but only for some retreat in space. Forerunner on the attack here, puts some damage there into Maman Brigitte, who's now been cornered by Impunction. You can't abandon them, Kairos, and then get Cold Feet, decides to re-enter the fight at just the wrong time. Feeds another double there to the Medusa. A good attack there from Omnis, gonna stun him beneath the tower, but Yeet Jungle Buff is the Goddess of Destruction. Destroys Sir Ominous in their own base. Astro gonna be able to beads that to try to get some extra damage there and put down Forerunner. Does succeed with the help there of Dino K. Revenge as Dino puts their own triple kill on it. This time it's Yeet Jungle Buff who's the sole survivor for Heart Showers. The Fire Giant's been forgotten, but Nameless pick up a hefty fight.
These guys are just gonna keep killing 3 and 4 of each other until somebody finally, you know, has a couple left alive afterwards.
Never.
These fights are just, you mentioned the word earlier, Pyrrhic victories, and that's as good of a word as I can think for it. They're fighting, and I mean everybody's dying. You're seeing 1 and 2 people left. You can't take an objective after it. Hell, you can't even push the tower really. the fights are great, but something's going to have to change in them. You're going to have to end up with enough people alive to actually do something after it.
I think once we get into this couple more minute situation, once we see starters get online, we're gonna see a big difference come in with the objective play.
Curious to find out your guys' opinions as far as what we saw in the beginning when it had the discussion of what these comps offer. It's CC on the side of Heart Showers versus Nameless's raw damage. Zetan, do we feel like each side is fulfilled on the obligations their comp asks of them to make?
For the most part, yes, and you know we're seeing these teams have to fight for the objectives because they don't have any guaranteed secure, unless you count the Medusa gaze, which has been pretty sufficient so far.
Yeah,
But you
surprisingly
know, they don't have that guaranteed secure, so they're having to fight over these objectives, and nobody's winning really.
Well, at the very least, Heart Showers didn't have to fight too hard for that Pyro. Grab that as well as the Beacon for their troubles. Bit of damage here drops onto the Fafnir, but gonna return that poke right back and get back to safety into the waiting arms of the AMC. Mulan could be a bit of an unfortunate position. Use that blink after the grapple to get themselves to safety. Does manage to get out in time. Fafnir tried to look for the sneaky hammer, but unfortunately was not able to find it either. 24 minutes now. FG's been sniffed at, but is not able to find any home around the belts of any team. Zek, what do we expect to be the clinching factor in these fights? Z mentioned the fact that we need to see a fight decisively won, where there's more than just two survivors left on the battlefield. What do we think needs to be cleaned up on either side in terms of execution for that to be the result?
It seems like some of the initial engage is getting dumped, and then the fight tries to continue on. Yeah, I want to put it on. Nameless needs to realize their strengths in the fight. Heart Showers need to realize their own as well. Once you kind of identify where your comp is strongest, you can very clearly see where it's not going to be the weakest. We get our engage off if we're Nameless. You know, we use the Cthulhu ult. We lock somebody down. We get a nice kill. Great. Let's reset. Let's come back into this now with a 4v5 and try to return. All the while, Heart Showers, you know, let's lock somebody down, get some good poke off. I see a little bit more poke based in this team comp, you know, and I'm mostly looking at the CC following up with the Merlin damage, but a little bit of an engage coming out right now as the Atlas wants to disengage. Forerunner under attack, able to step on away, and you know, that's kind of nice. Now you get this person, you get him to back, you poked him out nicely. We're not overcommitting this fight, so I think that's a big thing that I'm seeing. A lot of just, we're committing everything to a fight where it should just be a little bit more poke-centric.
Ooh, game poked out a little bit and pulled as well. Ominous going to be taken against their will into the front lines of Heart Showers, not receiving too much damage for it, and Dino K going to be able to stop them from doing too much more of it. A pause. Too much bloodshed, they say, but it gives us an opportunity to at least discuss where we're at. 25 minutes, we stand 20-18. Just look at that bush. Look at that beautiful door as its graphics glitch out. Look at Skinder through that wall. It's 63,068. A decent lead on the side of Heart Showers now, even though the kills aren't in their favor. XP not going to be mattering too much. As Z10 always says, you only hit level 20 once. That being said, we still have some big rig objectives here on the map for us to look at. Z10, as far as opening strategy for the next engagement we want to see, we had mentioned from Zek in the P's and B's that Heart Showers has a lot of options to open up their flowchart of fight. What do you expect to be their opening salvo for the engage?
Well, for the engage, I'm not a Z10. Z10's recovering. Something that I'm kind of keeping my eye on over here is a little bit of 1v1 skirmish going between the Maman Brigitte and the Kali, which is why we're seeing the Maman now back. Kali pushing down this dual lane, getting a little bit of a split push on. I think this is what Heart Showers are seeing as their opportunity. Let's throw the Kali into a 1v1. Let's see if she can take somebody down. She has a bomb in pocket. Okay, this Maman's not going to be able to get her back off, get back to this dual lane Phoenix in time. This thing should be gone. A Mannequin's Maze, she's got the exit kit. Shred it down, knock it out of here, drop the bomb if you really need to. Honestly, you might not even need to do that. Yeah, and, well, you'll get some fire waves pouring down that dual lane. Now with the pressure on that side of the map, we should be able to bounce back. We should be able to open up something on the other end of the map. Now that we have to split the focus of Nameless.
So, I mean, what I'm looking at here, and obviously we're all looking at this particular moment, is the Kali that is sitting at this Phoenix. Now, the majority of the team on both sides is engaged up in that mid lane, staring each other down. Nobody's getting a back off quickly. And the only person there to like actually stop that is Skinder, who
Who is
one
disconnected.
is DC'd, but
Yes.
more importantly has what looks like maybe 400 health to play with. Not enough to tangle with a Kali at 25 minutes. So I, I'm almost thinking Kali just gets this left side bird. I mean, Skinder can blink in there or jump in there all he wants, but you don't have the health to tangle with that.
I don't think not only does he not have the health, he doesn't have the levels, he doesn't have the items. Look at that. That's a level
Right.
18 Maman against a level 20 Kali who's near full build. What do you think, D'Lo?
What I think is that Skinner just DC'd and then Astro somehow got the infection passed on to him. Is latency like an actual like disease? Is it an infection? Is it a virus that we somehow are spreading on through here? I
So
have no idea how that happened.
Spreading like
But
bees almost.
it's gonna work its way down to
aha,
Sir
that
Ominous
well,
next.
you're not immune to it, I suppose, even when you are the god of it. But I don't know. I'm just currently a bit nervous about the fact that we have Kali here who seemingly is going to be able to just drop down this Phoenix for free. Every single time Nameless tries to walk up, it feels like the fights aren't really starting on their terms because of that CC that you've been talking about for the entire set here, or game here. Zach, it's the fact that if you try to take a step out of position, Forerunner says, okay, if you want to come here, really come here. They pull you back in, then Atlas pulls the Liam Neeson, you get taken, you get just absolutely sequestered right back into their backline so all the damage can pour onto you. Their ability to just grab you and shred you is very potent. And it doesn't seem like Nameless are really doing a great job at coordinating against that and making sure that when they are opting in for a fight, they're doing it with their chests. They keep trying to kind of dance on the subject and then exit out politely, but Heart Showers are not trying to be polite about it. They're trying to make it rain blood. So as far as what we need to see from these fights in the future, especially if it comes to this big rig objective, 5 more minutes before this becomes an EFG, I need to see a bit more decisiveness here from Nameless.
I
Yeah.
I, I think that's a pretty good call. There, we 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 touched on it at the desk. We've touched on it a number of times during the match, but they really don't have significant CC, which when you're playing a double hunter comp where you ideally would like to just grab and murder someone, you don't really have that capability. I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost like you'd like to see the Mulan over on the side of Nameless just to have somebody to reach out, grab someone, and set them up for the two hunters. Um, but while we're doing this, I guess we can just throw this to a break, and we will be right back. Shit.
Hello, welcome back. Jumping on in, we're going at it. It's a Phoenix dive. I mean, we saw this one coming. Bomb is down. Jungle Buff trying to take it on down. Is the Mon Brigitte gonna make it on back in time? No, she is not. And down it goes. Congrats. There goes your duo, Phoenix.
I
Huzzah!
think I called that like 15 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it little anticlimactic at this point, but we all had some time to chew on this and figure out what's going on. Heart showers are moving immediately for the Oni Fury. Given that you just got the left side Phoenix and the Fire Giant is up, solid call.
Now you gotta worry about Oni Fire Waves pushing down this dual lane. It's gonna be significant pressure onto Team Nameless. They're gonna have a lot to worry about. That's really gonna split their focus. And I mean, take a look at Heart Showers. They back, they reset. Look where all of them are going straight towards that Fire Giant. It's really gonna take a lot for Nameless to push out these waves and hope that they can give as much attention to this Fire Giant as they can.
Yeah, it does look like they're going to be playing a man down after the Astro DC. So, best of luck, fellas.
Oh, that's so rough too, considering what a force that Astro was in these fights prior. Fire Giant around all 5 of their belts. You're playing with a man down, but that just makes the underdog story so much more tantalizing. Imagine if Nameless picked this one up, but without the hive, without the colony behind him, it might be tough looking. Right side Phoenix now, they march in 4-man strong. At the very least, it's an even fight, but not quite. We only have the Fafnir as well as Cthulhu. The rest will join the squad, but that bird's going to be toast in just a second. Nice Monger. Takes good damage there on the Atlas. Bites a chunk out of his thigh. Cthulhu not going to find too much, though, afterwards. Forerunner enters back into the fray. Might be something you learn to regret if they can find just a bit more damage for you, but maybe Sir Ominous could be in a bit of trouble, decides to exit out. Minions pouring into the mid, as it has also been destroyed. All the birds down now here. Heart Showers are able to just regen in peace. Already essentially having a permanent pick. It's only a matter of time for them before the throne room is next up on the chopping block.
I think I needed to see Heart Showers really focus down on one Phoenix. At least keep one of them alive. Use that Phoenix as your 5th man. Or, you know what, use the Titan as your 5th man as they are trying to fight outside of their Titan room, and a blink in from Yeet Jungle Buff comes into the Titan.
Into the fountain as well.
Oh
Not gonna
my.
die on the doorstep. Don't take down the ANC. That's just rude. Poor Astro is gonna fall victim to the Collie's blades, but she will die as well. It's a party in the pool, but it's gonna be turned red by the blood of enemy and ally both. The Titan on its last legs. Heart Shower is going to rain down the damage, and they're gonna win game 1.
Yeah, I mean, not much else to be said about that. You know what I'm saying? Guy DC'd, you're playing the last bit of it a man down. 5v4s do not work out in anybody's favor when you're in, evenly matched lobbies. Uh, good end there from Heart Showers. Good that they didn't let that linger on. So, yeah.
You know, we can talk a little bit about the early game before everything obviously happened and just go over the nitty gritty of what happened between these two teams. It was very, very even, all leading up to that point. Okay, it did feel like Heart Showers were getting the advantage in those later game team fights. It looked nice, it looked great, but Nameless came out strong. They came out kicking and they had a great lead right out of the gate. What happened? And I think D'Lo and I were talking a little bit about it, you as well, talking about this overextension thing that we were seeing. They were getting some picks and they were going even further. They were getting picks, but they weren't doing anything map-wise with it. Even early when they were getting the picks, it was all Heart Showers who were getting the Bull Demon Kings. You know, they were getting the farm. They were keeping themselves in a good position because of that. So great, get the picks, but then what? And you know, everybody kind of talks about it, the old F dot stuff after the stuff kind of thing. You get the kills, you go for the objective. Let's get the Gold Fury, let's get the Bull Demon King, let's get the Pyromancer, that kind of thing, and just transition it. If you're fighting just to fight, you're gonna wind up in, well, I mean, this situation, needless to say.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the early game, we definitely saw some lead changes going on. We saw some stuff kind of flip-flopping, but it ended up as best it could given the circumstances. What you got, D'Lo?
I mean, looking at the stats here across the board, at the very least, it's obviously a very bittersweet moment to see a game end like that. But Heart Showers did fight their way. It's not like they were on the bottom foot at all when the tragedy struck of the great infection of June 10th, 2024 of the servers. But that being said, they were on top as terms of the damage goes, terms of the kills go. Punction, I think, really deserves our accolades, and dare I say, an apology from you two for the abuse rained down on the
I
Medusa's
will.
head. No, I understand the reason behind the skepticism. The god doesn't have the nicest place here in this meta, but I do want to say, absolutely made it count. Those two stone gazes securing those two furies on top of the damage we saw, so impactful.
I will not take back my slander on the Medusa. I will, however, say Punction, phenomenal job. Played it like an actual god and just showed how much of a mechanical skill gap there is. And great play over there. Now it's what can you do over in that dual lane side? I want to say in game number 2. You know, we got picks and bans going to be coming soon, but what do we want to lead? Where do we want to see the pressure getting put from Heart Showers? Or, you know, honestly, where do we want to see the pressure getting put from Nameless? How can they come back from this one? It is a best of 3 set. What are you thinking, Z10?
I I think so from what I understand, Astro's back. He's got his stuff back up and running. They are going to go with him for this game too. So provided that his situation holds up, um that game ended up, it was pretty close before that happened. The Kali started kind of getting out of hand towards the end of that. Um, maybe going into this game too, you look to take Yeet off of Kali. Maybe make him play something that can die. Uh, but outside of that, I mean, the game was pretty close. I don't think there's too much that you just need to change up. I might change up that Maman.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to DemiGod Division Finals of the Heaven's Gauntlet of Amaterasu's Presence. I'm D'Lo, joined here by Zach Vexel with Zombie Tantalus. It's Nameless, it's Heart Showers, it's Tess up in the sky. Zetan, we were just witness to an unfortunate defeat on the side of Nameless. Hopefully going to be coming back with a vengeance, coming back with some nice bans already. Kali is off the map. What do we want to see here for our P's and B's?
Well, you know, Dealer, I talked about it on the stats page and at the end of the game there. That was one of the few things that I did say I kind of wanted to see changed up. Definitely wanted to see them take Yeet off of this Kali. Put him on something that can die. Put him on something that doesn't have immunity. You know, outside of that, bans pretty standard across the board. We've got the Thor, the Yolo, the Terra, same. Ares, Fafnir, running back some of the same stuff here. Now they're pulling the Atlas and they've locked the Chiron. I love to see a Chiron.
Chiron's really freaking good, man. Not only are they going to be dishing out that CC, but they're going to be cleansing it too. You might need to if you lock in a Bacchus. That's going to be quite a lot of CC dropped on your head top. But not really CC you can quite immune. I love a cleaner. I love a cleaner. I haven't seen her in so long. Your thoughts?
There we go. That was the other thing I said I think they needed to change up. Literally anything but Maman Brigitte. Cleo definitively fits the bill of not Maman Brigitte. Love the pick. You've got the Bacchus to go along with it. You've got very solid dive, excellent aggression, and you've got a very safe hunter that does not require Bacchus to babysit her in the back. Loving the team comp out of them so far. Now, over on the Heart Showers side.
Ooh.
Woo!
Dude, this CC, as well as the lockdown, it just seems like their strategy this entire time has been, we're going to take you, we're going to lock you down, we're going to shoot arrows at you, we're going to send you through a literal different dimension in space and time with this Giannis as well. Zach, man, what are your thoughts just looking at the overarching field? Because it is a far cry from game one. We have a couple returning parties in terms of the Atlas and the Charybdis, but beyond that, it's a different scene, baby.
That's a Cleo mid.
No. That's a Cleo solo. That's a Sun Wukong mid. I am going to put my money on this one. I am going to put some money on this one that is going to be a Sun Wukong mid. I feel it. I feel it in my bones right now that is what I'm seeing. The poke against a Janus is going to be pretty heavy. The pick can be very aggressive. He does great into the mages. That's where we saw the actual success come out of Sun Wukong. I don't think he does well in solo. I think he will do very well in the middle lane. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. It pairs well with the aggression of this Bacchus, and it allows the Cleo to just do what she wants over there in the solo lane, scale up, get some farm online. Whew, I better see this in mid. I'm going to be honest. I better see it in mid.
That is one of the wildest takes I've ever heard.
You know what?
And
Yeah,
if you're right,
it. Yeah,
if you're right about this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Y'all may be casting by yourselves because I'll stroke out just on the spot.
Well, I hope
Giannis.
that the same thing doesn't happen to the mid at the very least. If they stroke out, then I'm really in trouble.
So we've got this Giannis, we've got the Odin, and I mean, I don't think the Odin gets a massive amount of value here. Pretty much everybody on Nameless, with the exception of Cleo, has a way out of that.
If she's not close
Um,
to a wall.
True enough. But now so we've got the Giannis, the Odin, the Chiron, the Atlas, and Bakasura. Just in terms of gods I haven't seen in a few months. It's been a little bit on my last comp Bakasura.
I have to say, I think this is kind of the filler for, okay, we couldn't get Kali, we couldn't get this scaling auto attack jungler. Let's take the Baka, and I think it's in a fine position. Farm is a very crucial thing for jungle right now, and you can very easily go 20 and 20 by just getting some farm online, scaling yourself up really nicely. I mean, we kind of saw that over in game 1, where Jungle Buff hit level 20 on that Kali and was just a force to be reckoned with, had the
Right.
Mannequin's Mace already upgraded before anybody else got any starters, I want to say. I mean, don't quote me on that, but was definitely one of the very first people to hit 20, get that starter upgraded. If we see that again on the Baka, I expect a similar situation, because that is a pick that can very much be that aggressive, run it down, get in your face kind of thing. Oh, I'm looking at this
Oh.
other side though, and
Who
what
do
do you
you
think?
go on though? I mean, you're the jungle main in the party here. So you've got the Bakasura for heart showers, but you look at the Nameless comp, and I mean, who are you going on? Because
Cleo,
it's not Charybdis.
no. It's probably either going to be Cleo or the Ao Kuang. You can get on the Sun Wukong in the late game, and that's where we'll probably see that happen, is because once that Sun Wukong in late game happens, you're not surviving long. You're immediately pushing that 4 button, getting up into that somersault cloud. So he's going to do his thing early. You scale up, you get late. Once you do get late, Baka, onto the Sun Wukong, shred him down all day. You'll kill him before he even gets up there, okay? I think that's where the benefit of this pick will be. Oh, the Baka Sir, anyway. As man, I'm just looking at Nameless's draft, and I just got to see, like, you got the Ao Kuang and you got the Charybdis and you got the Cleo who want to scale up, but you just need to be aggressive given your other picks, the Sun Wukong and Bacchus. I am really going to be interested to see what they end up doing and how they utilize these picks, because Hard Showers have a team comp, needless to say.
They certainly do have a team comp. It's going to be a far cry from game 1, especially if we see no issues on the tech side. But will Nameless fall once again to their own technology at the hands of the unfortunate lords of Micro Center? We'll have to find out. Game 2 coming at you in just a second. And we're back. Would you look at that? Nameless versus Art Showers, DemiGod Division Finals. And it's a best of 3 here, so we are on set points. I'm D'Lo, joined here by Zach Vexel, joined here by Zetan, joined here by Tess, Almighty Eye in the Sky. It's a Zesties cast, everyone. And we're going to have to find out, will this unconventional comp, Sun Wukong solo, Zach, you might need to eat your shorts.
I'm upset. I really am. I think this Sun Wukong would have been phenomenal in the mid, in my opinion. I'm 1000% here for it. Over in the solo lane into that Odin, I don't think he stands a chance. I'm going to be entirely honest. Sure, you can Tiger Stun the 3 on the Odin, but I don't see much else outside of that. You can hope that you can punish him for bird bombing the wave. The Odin should get the innate pressure over there, in my opinion, and it is going to be a battle to see who can knock down whose blue buff. Odin will struggle if you do keep on top of his blue buff and get those invades off. If you can't do that, though, I can kind of see this going in favor of Heart Showers over there in the solo.
That's fair, and I want to say something here. I didn't want to say it on the desk because I didn't want to give any validity to the Sun Wukong mid. But I did have Half Hero do that to me in a semifinals match years ago. It can be done, and speaking of done, Astro maybe.
Oh, one more basic to secure it. Gonna be screaming at no one. Just a quick def in there. just to disorient my friend Jungle Buff, but they've got their eyes on the prize, and I don't even think that skin's got any. Astro gonna be taking him coast to coast. Oh, one more leap. Good damage there. Doesn't have the Butcher's Blaze just quite yet. One more basic. No. Astro says, please, any of these walls, let me in. It might be the minions. Get in on the action. Yeet Jungle Buff finally finishes off Astro for first blood.
Around the friggin' world. That started at the mid tower, went all the way around, and ended at the opposing mid tower. I'm not gonna get the solo onto Forerunner. Odin eats it.
Zeg, man.
Yeah, I'm missing.
What's going on?
Well, you know what? First off, I did my homework. I did a little bit of looking up. Season 9 was done in pro, the Sun Wukong mid by Benny Q, and Season 8 done twice over by Big Man Tings. So, I know it's something that I've seen before, which is why I mentioned it. Not to mention it was done into my teams in the past, and then my team also did it. But you guys, are you just gonna keep fighting? Are you just? Is that what you're gonna
will.
do? Yeah.
It seems like to be the case. Bacchus might grab a nice kill for themselves as well. Crypto's too busy with the meteorite. Will you please help me get the kill on this gosh darn horse? Bacchusura lurking here, but we're looking for the Naga so far. It's once again a very scrappy early. Now Bacchusura potentially looking for their way into the fight. Belly Flop's been expended, and that's my time to shine. Good double stun there, as well as the spike shots doing decent damage. A good attention switch. Dinoc is absolutely wallywhopping on Forerunner. This matchup is looking crystal clear. Another kill there. Finally, you have a good reason to jump.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed.
That's going to be the second death onto the Odin at this point. I have to imagine that SWK's got enough in hand for that Blackthorns already, right?
Oh, might have some more kills on hand, though, for you. The Bacchus picks up the purple buff, is emboldened to finish off the Bacchusura. He says, you can't start with the same 2 syllables of my name. Kairos, unfortunately, has been abandoned. The girl's going to get scooped up in the alley. That's a kidnapping case. Someone get on the Amber Alert. But unfortunately, Bacchus can't quite get there in time just to watch them gallop away to safety. But this is a bloodthirsty Sir Ominous trying to use that little staff buddy to just lob some shots at him. It now reads in 3 minutes, 3-2. Nameless with a short gold lead to their side. Zetan, when the fighting is going to be so thick, so dense, so frenetic, what's going to be the result in terms of how these comps want to operate?
Well, I mean, inherently, a comp like this on the side of Nameless, okay, I didn't think Snowman was in too much danger there, but, like, with these games, you never know. I feel like any time when you're going to have these kind of bloodbaths, these super high kill games, a lot of scrapping, I almost feel like that fight has to favor the side with the Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang loves to get in, loves to clean that stuff up, loves to secure these kills. That's where I'm looking at. Oh!
I think you might need to look over to the duo lane. Yeah, solo.
Another one there for Dino K. Locked in the cage, but not locked in the tower. Gonna be their 3rd solo kill. Might be adding it on the other side of the map. The spike shots are enough. We're getting tipsy out in here, and Yusko's gonna take a little bit of a spill into the fountain. Giannis looking for the potential rotation. There's through space and time. Doesn't hit anyone. Unstable Vortex, big miss as well. And decides to exit just as quickly as they entered. Akko Taco there for Heart Showers. And that's not even the skin the Bacchusura has. Now, instead, it's Elvis gonna be trying to make you regret taking a step into their lane. Some farms secured there from the invade on Nameless. They had the advantage in early game before, though, and we saw just how poorly that ended up for them even before the DC. Zach, what's going to be the key for Nameless to make sure they keep this lead and even potentially extend it in these early phases of the game?
I wanted to say keep this Odin down, keep on top of those blue buffs. Unfortunately, the fighting over in the solo lane was a little bit too much, and Dino was not able to step on up there and go for it, especially with Skinder not present. So Odin able to resecure his blue buff now, going to be able to have that again in pocket, going to be able to get some farm a little bit nicer, have some MP5, that's going to look good. And we're seeing again, you know, granted, with all this fighting going on, only one Bull Demon has been taken, but it's been Heart Showers who took it. You know, we saw that same thing in game 1, where we saw Nameless have the same lead in game number 1. It's this nice 1,000, almost 2,000 gold lead now, Bridge. You know, I'm seeing an exact mirror. So where do I need to see the change? Objectives. Show me that transition, show me what you can do there, and I think we'll see a different game.
Show me the kill. On to Bakasura. We're playing Family Feud, and right now, it is not a feud going the way of Bakasura. One more hit. There's the execute range. Skinder takes to the skies. Looks for a potential target to drop down on. It might just be this purple buff camp. It's unfortunately empty, but it opens up for the potential pincer movement here. Bacchus instead opts for safe pathing, deciding one more kill is enough. We don't want to get too hungry. That's where we slipped up before, but now it could be trouble here for the Atlas as they're caught in the midst of two. Decent damage here already, but a big pull is going to get him right back. Whirlpool form knocks him up, but he's already in the safety of the tower. Meanwhile, Forerunner and Dino-K continuing their dance of death, but it's only been one person who's getting their toes stepped on. Forerunner once again victim to the cudgel. Dino-K, I am not even going to blame you for two-tapping your way on all the time at this point. You can jump as much as you want if you keep the performance up like that. Maw hungering there for the Atlas. Through space and time, only going to soar above the Whirlpool form. Dodges the Gamma Ray, not quite. Beads dropped as well, didn't need them just yet. The Juke Shoes here for the Sagittarius, finding the damage as they step between all the autos from the Giannis, but Snowman finds the kill finally. Heart Showers can breathe a big sigh of relief, but Ominous is still on the prowl. This man does not know what role he's for. Takes a sip of his Estus before re-entering the fray. Kalina's entered, tears a rift, but does not find too much damage as Chiron soars through it. The pause just for Impunction to think about their actions and the consequences of them. Look at that. It's golden hour here. Astro shining bright.
Tell me somebody didn't DC.
You can't be kidding. No, not after just getting the kill. Not after
Oh.
just getting the kill, Zetan.
No, I'm not trying to caster's curse him. I just, you know, like we saw the pause in the first game, and you know, obviously we're not in comms with the teams. We don't know immediately what the issue is or what is happening, what is going on, so on and so forth. You know, Cleo did just come over and get that kill. Decent cleanup that at least makes it to where you're trading carry for carry. So Chiron not going to be able to get a ridiculous lead here. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that she gets this Atlas here too. I think the last time I saw her use her one.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You've
Yeah.
fallen victim to one of the classic blunders.
Yeah, the caster's curse, right?
Damn it. I did it. I did it to him. I'm so sorry, Astro.
Okay, well, let's try to remain positive here and assume that potentially Astro can rejoin. Zach, looking at the format right now of how we've been seeing these fights go on, it's been a lot of pressure here on the side lanes. Mid's kind of been left alone. Do we need to see Snowman just taking advantage of that, just trying to farm their way up, or have we seen the right plays for them? They've been rotating, using that through space and time to try to make some opportunities here in the dual lane. Is that the plan of action, or do you think we just stick to Farmville?
I think it's definitely the play. You want to use that through space and time. That's why you picked up this pick. Get those great rotations in. The unfortunate thing is it doesn't seem like too much is amounting from it. I mean, he's 1, 1, and 2. Not bad. You know, you got a 3 kill participation out of 3 kill participation for your entire team. So 3 for 3. He's been there for every kill. It's just, again, I don't think too much is amounting from these scraps, from these fights. You see right now in the position that we're in with Nameless up at this tier 1 tower. Great, we got the pick on the Chiron. He's dead, but our ADC is dead as well. Kairos is dead. So what can we do here? Bacchus is low. He's probably not going to be too useful now. Use goes. You know, he's low. We might be able to get a pick there as well. But then again, then what? There's no buffs to invade. We can't do Gold Fury. We can't even honestly take our own buffs. Our buffs aren't even going to be up for the time being. So what do? Push the wave into tower and get a nice reset off and call it a day. Be happy. It's probably all it's going to really amount to. I do like that Skinder made the right call. Go to the other side, get the Bull Demon King, get that in his pocket, get that gold in his pocket for his team. So that's going to be nice. That's a little bit of something right there. But I feel like something's just missing. And I'm trying to put my finger on it exactly, but I think I might have hit the nail on the head with the objective part. So what
I
do you
think you
think?
did.
Yeah.
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 The objective, that was what we saw in the first game, even before the DC and this and that. Nameless had a lead. Heart Showers had better macro. They had better map play. They were on the objectives, and they ended up with a lead eventually because of it. Nameless are gonna need to not fall into that same trap. I worry with this Cleo. You don't have secure here. Oh my.
We secured that she's back. I was about to say, you said Heart Showers got the better secure. They also got the better hardware, clearly, but Nameless are not going to be kept down and out thanks to a namby-pamby PC. Beautiful work, I mean, by the computer of Astro to finally kick itself into gear. And now Astro kicking himself into gear as well, maybe just to retreat, because the Yak attacks on your head, Top. Decent damage there, but the last AoE auto's not gonna find your back. And now it's the execute threshold attained. Another kill from the Ao Kuang drops on the jungle buff. The Guardian Angel descends down to take down the Giannis, who's in hot pursuit of the Kleena. But that just might be your reckoning, because now she's invisible from you. The flickering visions, you can't see where you're going. I'm going right back to Fountain. Astro's gonna send you there the hard way instead. Beautiful chase down from Astro, using themselves as bait. An actual horror game was played by Snowman there. I cannot imagine how terrifying it must have been. From hunter to hunted might be the same story for the Chiron. Sagittarius has been used, but you're not gonna find that kill. The juke shoes on Astro are just too good. This man can evade a DC. He can certainly evade some arrow shots. Beautiful work by Nameless.
It's finally one of the first kind of decisive fights, I want to say, that I've seen out of Nameless. But again, we're kind of falling victim to that same thing. Is okay, what can they do off of that now? Nothing. We're going to move back. We're going to get some farm online, and we're going to call it a day. We are seeing a lead build up, though. It is going to be nice. This is kind of the position we saw them in, again, game number 1. This is going to be the deciding factor. Around this early Gold Fury, do we try to make a push for that around the first beacon? I think that's where we're going to start to see the real shakeup come in, as the team fight starts to be more of a collective thing instead of a scrappy, let's pick people off here and there kind of thing that we are seeing right now. One thing that does strike my interest, though, is this Bakasura build is a very same shining of the Kali build. We don't see that kind of crit style Bakasura with the rage that we are most notable seeing, so he's looking to just kind of shred down a target and have consistent autos, so I find that very interesting. And well, there's that Gold Fury I was just opening up my mouth about.
Oh no, but will it get stolen away from you once again? Astro's on patrol duty, gonna make sure Impunction can't even get near it, and Nameless do thankfully secure it despite that Gamma Ray and the through space in time. That was a worrisome prospect. The chase continues as Impunction is under pressure here from Astro once again in the Sagittarius. Astro takes one arrow to the back as a consolation prize from Impunction, bumps up their damage numbers just a little bit. Hey, Soling, once again, 3-level differential here between Dino K and Forerunner. Zetan, does that mean that Odin's just not going to be useful when it comes to the rotations, or can their impact still be felt?
I mean, I think inherently, even before the buffs and the changes to Odin, the only reason you really played Odin was not to win your lane. It was for his utility in the team fights later. SWK is going up into the somersault cloud. Bakasura is back in. There's the Odin cage. Here we go.
Let's see what utility can get from it. A big 2-man belly flop leads to big damage. Yeet jungle buff yeeted right back to Fountain. Forerunner finds the same fate. Nice double kill there. Makes the rampage for the Ao Kuang. Makes the blue buff invade as well. It's just such great pressure mounting here from Nameless. They must have just instantly installed a new chip into that computer because they are now booted up into high gear. 11 minutes in, gold lead now in 7,000. Heart Showers obviously have the tenacity to come back. They've done it once. They can do it again. So the question then is, Zach, what's their key back into this fight?
Key back into the fight for Heart Showers, you can't look to steal every objective, and I think they were getting away with it in game number 1. You need to be able to contest this stuff on your own. You need to be able to, I guess if you're Nameless, you need to be able to secure your own jungle buffs at that, as the steal away nice from Yuskos and dive coming in over here to the tier 1 tower. Great peel attempt, but Yuskos ends up going down. Skinder ends up picking that up very nicely, and now a transition over into an invade of their own. I see a rotation though that came in. Dino K ends up coming on over. The first beacon does go down, and Nameless is able to pick that one up. So Heart Showers, you just gotta get your farm online. You gotta get yourself caught up and find yourself something on the opposite end of the map. You know, I talked about this with a lot of teams. It's like, we don't need to coin flip every objective. We don't need to 50-50 everything. Split our attention, split our focus. They were going to go for gold. Let's go for pyro. Let's go for bully game. Let's take some towers on the opposite end of the map. And likewise on the other side. A lot of potential to exist elsewhere on the map, get farm on the other side of the map so that you're not turning a 5k lead into an 8k lead into a 10k lead. No, you're keeping it at a 2k to a 3k to a 4k instead.
So this is dangerous here. Nameless, this is no longer that 1,000, 2,000 gold lead that they were kind of piddling around with in the first game. Now you're talking 7,000, 8,000. This is now a significant lead. There are going to be full items on the side of Nameless that Heart Showers don't have. They're going to have to find a way to stem bleeding because Nameless are just foot on the gas right now. They are going after everything. They are taking every single fight. Astro is being an absolute menace. Heart Showers are going to have to find a way to slow this down. And there's Skinder with another one on a Forerunner. I mean, they got to slow it down. How do you do it, Zach?
Yeah, honestly, you'd maybe take care of this aggression, or take advantage of this aggression that's coming out of Nameless right now. Look at how far up Astro's been playing. He was inside of the speed buff wall. Not even 20 seconds ago, okay? You see the fighting that is coming on. It's just getting aggressive, being all the way up here. And granted, you don't have any tier 1 towers remaining, so farming is not going to be too much of an option against this double assassin comp. I say double assassin, but honestly feels like a little bit more than that with the way that Dino K has been playing and Sir Ominous have been playing. It feels like a quadruple assassin, and Kairos is just tagging along for the show.
Pyromancer secured there by Nameless further cements themselves on top in terms of objectives and scrapping. Bakasura trying to find their own way into the jungle. Gets a nice invade off, but it's still not going to be enough. You have to win the fights. The map stage, the map state is looking so far in the favor of Nameless here. Tier 1's down in all 3 of the lanes, and there's still bastions up here for Nameless to defend themselves. 8,000 gold might be added to the total as Yuskos gets the dive. Kinetic charge clanks right up against the Ao Kuang. That's their salvo. That's their entry into this fight, but luckily going to be granted just enough space to escape.
I think at this point, we did it again.
One per game. Yeah. What a great catch, honestly. I saw right there from Skinder. I actually thought the Atlas was in a lot more danger than what ended up resulting. Instead, Nameless going to back off and go for the Primal Fury here. Going to get that objective in pocket. Or, you know what? Let's step on up and go for this fight up by the tier 2 tower. See if we can get another pick.
Dino K's got reason to do it. Primal Fury under no more threat from through space and time. Great job by Nameless, just 3-man strong to ward off any potential naysayers of that objective. No more steals have been even on the menu for Heart Showers. Instead, it's just going to have to settle for a measly red buff. But Snowman trying to find opportunities where they can, recognizing I can't really provide too much other than this ultimate. If this doesn't work, then I don't want to put my life up to stake. 16 minutes up, 17-3, still remaining around that 8,000 mark, and you can just see Sun Wukong just kind of, oh no, did Astro just DC again? Dino unfortunately takes the Somersault Cloud to try to avenge their brother in arms, but that might have just decided their fate. I just realized this. He's back! Never mind, and with the renewed hope, Bacchus dives in glee, and Ao Kuang takes to the skies. says, I can show you the world. Yuskos, unfortunately, being shown their way back to the fountain. Sir Ominous drops a bomb in celebration for their friend, reconnecting into the game.
It's fireworks, you know? You gotta celebrate those wins. Yeah, you get that pickup. Something I noticed too, Astro almost actually died while inside the wall when he DC'd. It was so close, he was able to get on back. Forerunner, I wish you the best, buddy. You better start running for something. Run to the hills, run for your life kind of thing. Dino K hot on the mark, and Skinners should be able to lock this one down as 5 members of Nameless are nearby in the area. I like what Heart Showers is doing this time around. Take a look at what's going on. Yeet Jungle Buff over, checking the camps, seeing if he could find something on the outside of the map. Unfortunately, not able to find any of them up. And all the while, Impunction locking down, knocking down this tier 1 tower, hopefully getting some farm on the other end of the map. This is what you need to do. Split the map and try to keep it as close as you can. That way, they're just getting Fire Giant here, but Yuskos might have something to say about that as he's stepping on up and the HP bars are getting lower and lower. The members of Nameless, Fire Giant down to 5% HP. The Atlas dashes on in, hopes to steal it away. And down it goes. Nameless end up locking down the Fire Giant and Yuskos goes down. Skinder picking that pick up as well.
They were low. They were getting really low in that pit. I was almost worried for a second. Oh no!
Oh no! Absolutely bounced. He says, you do not meet the requirements to get into the club. I'm sorry, this portal's not for you, buddy. Instead, you can go back to the fountain the quick way. Beautiful work there with the Tiger form to stun them out. Tier 2 going to fall as a consequence as well. Fire Giant wrapped around all 5 members. The Phoenix is an inevitability as well. Atlas tries to step up to do what they can. Bakasura in the back line looks for Astro, but you can't look any longer with the flickering visions. Instead, the damage is going to rain onto the Sun Wukong, who's now in the sky. And more damage needed for the Phoenix. Someone's getting the last basic. Bacchus or Bakasura is going to eat you up. There's some decent damage on the Bakasura, forced to leap out. The execute threshold's been secured on too, but Yusko's gonna be the victim of it. Dive onto Forerunner, eliminates the bird shield, and he's been bombed. Astro takes that one out as well. 2 off the chopping block. The mid Phoenix does go down, but through space and time will not take down Sir Ominous quite yet. Nameless. They've been absolutely dominant here. And in terms of what we saw before in game 1, those fights where there's too many corpses left litter on the battlefield, it's only gonna be showing red now. Yeet Jungle Buff is on the floor too. Nameless can do no wrong.
It feels like Yeet Jungle Buff, his name, honestly, him and the rest of the members of Heart Showers are kind of just yeeting their bodies at the members of Nameless, and it's becoming really unfortunate. It kind of seems like things are just falling apart and they're not too sure what to do. And I guess you could say it was a little bit similar in game number 1 when we did see them trying to coin flip those Gold Furies and they were getting away with it. Here, the issue though in game number 2 is they weren't getting away with it, you know, and we're definitely seeing that happen now is they're trying to put together and figure out what it is they can do. And honestly, I'm a little stumped. If you try to split up as much as you can, you got a middle Phoenix down, you still have 2 tier 2 towers remaining, there's plenty of farm on the map, they're probably going to go for the Gold Fury. So if I'm Heart Showers, do I just play out the solo side and look for a Phoenix defense in the next siege? What do you think, Z-Tan?
Well, you know, I think Nameless are playing with the urgency of a team whose mid laner may DC or have their computer cut off at any given moment.
That's fair.
You know, they are just full foot on the gas, never take it off, just absolutely going at it. And oh my, Ao Kwang almost gets eaten by the Bakasura there. Not quite. I think Heart Showers, you have some interesting opportunities here despite how far behind you are. You have this through space and time. You have better secure on the objectives than Nameless, but at the moment you are so far behind that you do not have the capability to step to them. So if they can push this out, there's a world where they're able to secure some of this stuff in the late game. They're just gonna have to get there. Dilo?
Not sure if you can see Sir Ominous get back to his friends, does the belly flop in pocket. They also grabbed that Oni Fury on the side of Nameless. Oni fire minions going to be pouring in here very shortly. Rough looking for our friends on Heart Showers. Tier 2 on the left side going to go down as well. Can only imagine with a sneeze left in the tier of the solo lane, it will meet the same fate once they rotate for it. It's looking to be rough pickings here for Heart Showers. I know that Zek, you mentioned earlier that... Oh no, don't tell me. don't you dare say it. I was gonna say, Zek, you mentioned before that Heart Showers kind of throwing themselves at Nameless. Maybe their strategy is, knowing that Astro's PC is liable to burst at any moment, just put as many pixels on his screen in hopes that it'll overload and fry his system. But so far, only teams looking fried are the Heart Showers as they move for this left side. Phoenix, Nameless opening up with a big belly flop. Astro getting opened up on with a big regurgitate though. The damage continues. The sticking has gotten there for the Bakasura. A nice kill there as 3 fall down with the quickness for Nameless. And now they're dedicating for the bit, but I don't know if this is the one you want to stake your life for. It's just going to be the Atlas. The hero body block there from the Odin saves their life of the support. Skinder going to go down instead. Form of a Falcon. Dino K is not looking to be in the best position, but will still jump for joy nonetheless. Beautiful work there by Nameless to keep themselves in the game. Or, sorry, my Heart Showers, dear God.
Yeah. Somebody put switch Forerunner over to support, okay? Because that play right there was phenomenal, okay? The Ao Kwang end up targeting the Odin. Honestly, helped save that even more so than it already was. We did see 3 end up going down, and it doesn't seem like it's over just yet. You got ADC plus an Odin here. You're not going to be able to go much elsewhere, and there's the cage stopping the Tiger stun. Doesn't Function have the damage, though? Can they finish off the Sun Wukong before he gets, well, that back up? Sun Wukong up into the sky, lands back down onto him. Function, good stun from Forerunner. The bird chasing down, though, and on the opposite end of the map.
Oh, there's space and time! Okay, that was close. That was nearly death. Both members gonna decide, we'll just lick our wounds for now. Form of a Falcon to retreat back. It was looking close, but Heart Showers might have found their way back into this game, and they didn't even need to wait for someone to DC to do it. All 3 birds back up. Zetan, what do we think went oh so wrong for that fight to turn up against Nameless when they had such a big lead?
I mean, I think a lot of what you saw there was the sheer utility of Odin and Yeet jungle buff on this Bakasura made an excellent heads-up play. He managed to kill Astro. He managed to force Ao Kwang almost out of the fight. And that allows your team to take their time in fighting the other members of Nameless. And without Astro there, they had a tough time doing it. That said, they're still 10k down. This is... You're still fighting into full items that you don't have. So they got the miracle off once. They're gonna have to do it again.
I think that was one of those situations, though, we needed to see not a miracle, but at least a showing of face from the members of Heart Showers. This Fire Giant was contestable, in my opinion. At least a light showing. See if you can pick off some of the people in the jungle. Now you lose the Fire Giant, you lose the Pyromancer. Your middle Phoenix is in danger, and quite the collapse coming out of Team Nameless.
Skinder gonna be the first casualty of war. The mid Phoenix will follow. Big Shell gonna save Atlas's life as the rest call the horn for retreat. Nameless got their bird. They also lost 1, but that's honestly not the worst it could have been. They keep that pressure up in terms of the map state, where Heart Showers were starting to gain it back just a bit by bit. Now, Fire Giant is already in their pockets. Not too much else to do at this point besides wait for Skinner to arise back from the ashes. They might decide to chomp at the bit for it, though. Still putting pressure here on this right side. A bit of a risky endeavor, especially when the damage dropping onto Kairos is so heavy. Nice unstable vortex from the part of the Giannis. Bakasura, in the meanwhile, is grabbing their own farm, trying to return back with a nice full stomach of minions to drop on their head.
Bakasura has the Mannequin's Mace. You got the Pendulum on the Janus. This is very much defendable. I don't see Nameless pushing into this, especially with Skinder not available. You're not going to have an execute for one of those tanks, but the aggression is coming in. Nonetheless, they are shredding down. Yusko stepping up a little bit too far. The Phoenix not taking any damage as of yet. Doesn't seem like Charybdis was able to find her mark. Dino K ends up finishing off Yusko's. Astro stepped into the tower, but he can't do that.
No!
A double shot from the Centaurus. Getting nice, 2 of them, and that is a clean wipe coming out of Nameless.
Yikes.
Gotta throw it to the DC, I think, again. Zetan, what can you do when your computer just doesn't agree with you?
Prey? Computers do weird stuff, man. I've been building them for years now, and that's probably the biggest thing I've learned is, like, don't cheap out on your fans, and computers do weird crap. There's not much they can do about it other than try and play through it. He's back in now, but unfortunately, you know, that came at really an opportune time. You're in the middle of a Phoenix siege when that happens. Heart Showers are now knocking down some towers of their own. They're getting this Primal Fury. The gold lead's not going to evaporate, but it is going to close a bit. And as we start approaching the 85,000 gold mark, you know, you only hit 20 once and you only hit full build once. Yeah, you can get some pots here and there, but eventually this gold is not going to matter. And with the way that Astro's hardware has been, I feel like the longer this goes, the better it gets for Heart Showers.
27 to 11. We're approaching the 28-minute mark. This next Fire Giant will be enhanced, not gonna lie. We're a minute and a half out for the Fire Giant respawn, be about 29 and a half, and so 30 seconds before it's EFG. I'm almost certain this is gonna be an EFG fight we will be seeing, but only a 7-8k gold lead for Team Nameless. It's close, it's defendable, this is very much fightable, and Heart Showers, I think, have found their way back into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think they have. You mentioned the AFG, and it is contestable. I don't know that you want an outright fight with Nameless with a 7k lead at this point, but you absolutely have the option to show face. You can use the through space and time. You've got the Odin on the board. You've got the Odin in order to separate the fight a little bit if it goes badly. You've got this Bakasura, who is now full build. And he's been putting in the work. I mean, he's getting picks, he's getting in there. You absolutely do not let this go uncontested.
No, you know, I think Nameless needs to do their best to play aggressive right here and see if they can get some poke off, see if they can get a pick here. That's probably going to be the only saving grace I can see as Astro appears to be struggling. You know, you got to even out the playing field at least before you can even think about attempting this Fire Giant. I don't even think it's going to be a thought in their head. All the while, Jungle Buff going to be doing that push up the dual lane yet again. Fire Giant has spawned. This is the moment right now. You just saw the Bakasur over in the dual lane. You got to take advantage of the man down situation, and it seems like they want to go for the picks instead.
Big leap there from the Bacchus, and Astro just preparing his fate to see if he'll be ending up in the fountain once again once the DC gods strike him. But so far, at the very least, the internet, the PCs, hardware will hold. Forerunner can't hold underneath these kunai. Decent poke already from Kairos. You see Dino K position around that wall. Bakasura, for their part, Yeet Jungle Buff been doing a good job of, when not needed, just trying to get some farm up. But you might be needed now, because 30 minutes is hit. It's EFG. It's in the game. Forerunner needs to get their head in it, too. Here comes it through space and time.
There it is.
Heart Showers secure the EFG. Forerunner takes the portal train right on out. Ao Kwang can't even catch up, and now the damage is liable to rain down, but Nameless don't even care. Execute threshold secured for Snowman. The Shadow Clone's gonna chase him down, so will the real Sun Wukong.
Oh no!
Big Yak attack does big damage, and Punction grabs are ominous. Forerunner gets run down. Dino K grabs one. It's the Bakasura trading with Astro. It's a 3 for 2, but Nameless have their eyes on the prize. In Punction staying underneath the Phoenix, they'll lay their life down for it too, for the double. The bird still stands, and that's gonna be big trouble there for Skynder. Snowman with the return double. It's the Wendy's 4 for 4. Astro's not happy. The jump scare from the wall secures the deicide.
Well,
that just happened. First off. Second off, this should be a Phoenix at least for Astro. So it's going to be some good pressure of fire minions pouring down. And wow, honestly, I felt like that was going to be all heart showers. I saw the EFG get taken, so the steal was phenomenal. You know, you got to dodge the Centaurus and the through space and time at the same time. A lot of sniping ultimates coming out for heart showers. So great job there. It looked like they were doing good in the fight as soon as I saw the Suro rotate in and Eat Jungle Buff just dumped DPS. Like, just the damage numbers into multiple members of Nameless was horrendous, and I did not want to be on the receiving end of that. Just ouch. Honestly, that's all I can really say about that one. But man, talk about the turnaround right there. Coming into the 1v1 situation, Astro coming out on top. Great having that last member there, like we were talking about. Astro coming on back, being able to be there for that fight made a huge difference.
I mean, considering the dude's DC'd 5 times, he's putting on a show here. I mean, I'm almost starting to think that the faulty computer is just a method that he has to use to handicap himself.
Lull them into a soft sense of security, right?
Well, I mean, you see what he's doing while he's DCing. I mean, he can't play at full power. That just wouldn't be fair.
Power here being dropped on Dino K. Gets taken out by the Yak attack. Good route there by Heart Showers to just stall out any offensive Nameless could make for a bit longer. And you know what? Their offensive has completely been halted. 32 minutes here. 32-16, but the kills don't matter. It's the gold. And even that's going to start only being a matter of 3k pots in a few short minutes. Pyromancer, that's important. Make sure not to drop that out of your pocket, though, just for celebration's sake. Let's try to see some good function with those runic bombs. But
well, they did give it to Saramanus again.
Yeah, they also are trusting into Ao Kuang's hands, so maybe that's the only hope we have to see that item actually be used for an actual objective. But let's find out. We still have yet to really see that decisive fight in this late game where there's not just a million bodies on the floor. It's kind of returned to that game 1 state that both of you harped on, where we're having too many dead on the floor to actually make any progression. So from the perspective of Nameless, who are fighting with desperation to end this game, end this series, before Astro disconnects again inside of a wall and suffocates to death, how do you make the next fight clean? Did he just mean to put a ward there? What are you doing?
Hitting the wrong button, Dilo, clearly.
That guy's a flight risk. You are not allowed on Delta anymore.
Okay, look, the first time I get it, it was an accident. The second time, we gotta talk.
Nah. Fool me twice. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Look, he's drunk. Give him a break.
Yeah, you're right. That's a fair point.
Yo.
Jesus. Okay, returning to the question, though. What does Nameless do here, Zetan, to make sure they can actually secure a fight without losing 5 members on the back end of it?
I mean, at this point, I feel like the real thorn in their side is this Bakasura. Bakasura is getting in there, and he's taking at least 1 with him. Sometimes 2. I honestly think that you just have to... I don't think taking these fights in the jungle lanes does you any favors when you've got to worry about Bakasura through space and time, the Odin cage, all of these things that make fighting in the jungle such a problem. I think you've got to try and get a pick onto this Bakasura or wait for him to engage and blow him up before he's allowed to do what he's doing. Now, I'm not sure what happened here, but I've got to guess.
If I were to put money on it. If I were to stake my claim.
Surely not mid-ability.
What happened in the dual lane at the start of the game?
Yeah, you know what? Fair. That's a fair point.
Oh, it was you guys! Look at him, Shane.
This game's cursed. It's cursed.
Clearly. Okay. While they get that sorted out, let's just try to get a bit of an assessment here. Zoom out a little bit. We see once again Yeet Jungle Buff moving down this left side, just absolutely being a nuisance, like you said, Z10. So Zek, how do we stamp out this little pest? What do we do to swat the frickin' Bach?
Just take the Fire Giant right now. Honestly, while he's over here, don't even worry about him. We lose the Duo Phoenix. All right, cool. We get the EFG and we kind of put the game away. Your Solo Phoenix is one tap from being gone. The middle Phoenix is not long for this world either. You can easily get a sweep with an Enhanced Fire Giant or just take the fight here, which is going to be their better option in my opinion. If I'm Team Nameless and I look at that last Fire Giant fight, our odds of securing this against a Centaurus and through space and time at the same time ripping through, because Heart Showers is willing to throw both of those ultimates at that objective, not too great. We're going to have to drop it. We're going to have to take the fight. We're going to have to try to lock down a Janice, a Chiron, or just find one of these tanks who are stepping so far up. You know, if we do catch Forerunner off of a jump, maybe we can lock him down, pick him off, that kind of thing. Or use Coast as well. We saw the pick come through. Kairos does plenty of damage to this Atlas, to these tanks, so a lot of potential to do so, and we can just execute at the end of the day with the Ao Kuang. So I want to see that. Pay no mind to this Bakasura, get this buff, and then look for the fight and look to just put this game away, and that's going to be their best odds of taking a game 3.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. This Bakasura, you're not 1v1ing him. You're not. I mean, maybe Ao Kuang can. Maybe if the ability rotation gets off right, maybe. But it's still a 50-50 toss up. I do not hate the idea of ignore him. I mean, you're gonna have to do something, and you're gonna have to do it decisively, because we're 35 minutes in. Any of these EFGs can win it.
Yeah, but it's just such an hard pill to swallow to leave something alone that's been doing so much damage to you. But at the very least, when it's so far away, when you got to send an actual postcard from that location for you to actually have to really get any contact, maybe not the worst time to take initiative. You have to find out once the unpause happens. But another element of this Heart Showers comp that we haven't paid too much mind to, Forerunner on this Odin. 1 and 9 is not a great slash line, but they still have the potential to contribute in their own ways. Might be seeing that happen right now as the EFG gets in the game. Kairo's going to start it up, but going to take quite a bit of poke to try to solo it down. Forerunner recognizing that, sees the situation, as Kairos continues to try to extinguish its flames. Skinner going to be able to provide a bit of backup, but Forerunner's on the scene. Let's see what they can do with it. Another big rig steal might be what you need. Tosses him up, but he's going to return right in time. Kairos has been pulverized by the through space and time. Forerunner going to once again take the carpool lane right back to Fountain. It's an absolute action replay, and Nameless know the ending of this story. Phoenix going to be looked at here by the Bakasura, but Sun Wukong and Ao Kuang are on the scene to stop him. But does not matter. The damage is done. Heart Showers are back to being their good old Robin Hood selves.
I did not just watch Odin steal FG 36 minutes into the game in the face of the ADC in the jungle. That unbelievable.
Now, was it Odin or was it the
wild.
Through Space and Time? Both came through at the same time. It was Odin?
It was Odin. The space and time hit it after. And Skinder getting the pick onto Yeet right now. Oh my.
This could be their fight despite them having the EFG. They're not scared. Sir Ominous takes a wing at him with the chicken. Beautiful work there. Launches Forerunner up for another bird's eye view, but Forerunner's already been to that location, rated at 2 stars on TripAdvisor, decides to leave instead, find some better sights of their own. Snowman, instead of continuing to fight against Sun Wukong, decides, I'm gonna leave. I think I've had enough here. Forerunner might be saying the same story, had enough of Sir Ominous. This Bacchus has been doing quite a bit in terms of both the peel, but also the damage. If you just look at their slash line, 2 kills on their side. They've been securing a decent amount. Credit is going to Sir Ominous where it's due. Always got to make sure you give some accolades to the supports. But nonetheless, Nameless, grab 2 kills, eliminate 2 of those EFGs that could have caused you trouble in the future. Uh-oh. Don't you dare let an Atlas steal it! That's crazy! You guys are absolutely nuts. It's Black Friday in June right now. Heart Showers are taking it all on clearance.
The first thing I'm gonna say is they can't keep getting away with this. Heart Showers cannot keep stealing objectives. Game 1, Game 2. It's just been ruthless. The Gold Furies in Game 1, the Fire Giants, the enhanced Fire Giants in Game number 2 here, and the Pyromancer just there. And it feels like every member is getting their part in it. The second thing I want to say is, following that last Fire Giant steal is what is Heart Showers doing? Why are they so spread out? I need to see some grouping. I need to see them playing as a unit right here, and we might just see that. They take the Gold Fury. They pick the Bacchus. They're looking for more. They're chasing down Kairos, who's now locked into his ultimate. They should be able to catch it as they get the movement speed boost from the Atlas. Kairos goes down. 3 members, dead on Team Nameless, and they're marching down duo lane.
Snowman's got to take all the credit for that. No reason to jump now, my friend. You're in the fray. You're in the cave. Monkey King's not going to be in there for too long. The left side, Phoenix now under threat from 4, 5 members, not just one. Disengaged there from the Bakasura to get themselves to safety. The left bird's been just completely abandoned. And now it might be Heart Showers staking their claim here for the end. Nameless, they have their members connected, but they don't have all their members alive. Dino K with a big knock-up, but the defense might not be enough. It's going to go to Heart Showers. A team had no name. A team had no victory. Heart Showers take finals in 2.
Yikes. That was a hell of an end, and ironically enough, right as Zek was saying it. I mean, just right as you got the words out of your mouth, I need to see them group up in a fight. They did it. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, walking away grand champions after that kind of showing, I feel like, man. Yeah, you said it right there. Wow. I think that I'll just take those words. I'll borrow them myself. I might pass them on to D'Lo in a second, but WoW is definitely the name of the game. And if I am Nameless, I'm going to walk away from this game. Is it upsetting what happened? Absolutely. Should I walk away with my head down? Absolutely not. I think they played phenomenally. Game 1, they came out strong with a nice lead. Game 2, they came out strong with a better lead. They played significantly more calculated as a unit. Yes, it was extremely aggressive. They were shoving it down the throats of the members' Heart Showers, like you're saying, trying to get as much as they can with the time that they had. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short, and we saw it happen right there at the end. It's just a... honestly, I want to walk away from this looking. If there is one thing I want to say Nameless could look at going down in the future, it is understanding when we can secure objectives, when we should be taking this objective versus when we should drop, go and look for the fight. And that comes down to you're secure. Do you have confidence secure? Who is your main DPS on your team? Ask them, can you secure this against a through space and time, against a gamma ray burst, against a Centaurus, all these ultimates that are so explosive on the side of Heart Showers? If you cannot, we need to drop, we need to look for the fight. You have to make that call before we get to that last 5%.
It was so hard fought. It was so hard fought, and it breaks your heart to see it happen that way. But at the end of the day, a few great steals is all you need. Heart Showers stealing the show, stealing our hearts, stealing every single objective that Nameless tried to start up. You have to know your advantage. Like you said, Zach, you have to know your capabilities as a team, and you've bite off a bit more than you could chew. And unfortunately, Bakasura going to devour it all. And that's just going to be what ends up really deciding this match. All the scraps in the early game, even in the mid game, were going their way. It seemed so much more in their favor. And look at the slash lines. It seems so much more decisive. Astro, 10-3. Skinder, so many great executes. Sir Ominous even doing their part. Dino K dominating that entire time, even though Sun Wukong wasn't in the mid lane, much to our friends Sugarin. That being said, big grin on the faces of our members of Heart Showers here. They played it beautifully. Nameless put up a good effort. I hope both teams are happy with their performances, even if the performance of our computers wasn't quite up to par. That being said, that is all we have here for you today on Amaterasu's Heavenly Gauntlet, Season 1 of the DemiGod Division. Nameless versus the victors of the Heart Showers. Congratulations to them once again. I've been D'Lo. joined here by Zach Vexel and Z10, Almighty Eye in the Sky, Tess, for their camera work. Please make sure to drop some thanks for them as well. It is incredibly important. Thank you as well, loyal, obedient viewer, for watching. We hope you enjoyed the first ZestD's cast debut. We certainly did ourselves. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you on later.